Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Goodwood Racecourse here on Thursday. It is the 1st of August 2024. Gonna look at the stakes action, the group action on today's program from Goodwood, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Hit 5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and also join me this weekend for my Whitney preview from Saratoga. One of the premier weeks of racing at Saratoga is always Travers Weekend. That's number one. Number two is Whitney Week, which is this week, and Saturday you have the Whitney, the Saratoga Derby, you have the Saratoga Oaks on Friday. So it's in general just a good week of racing, so I hope you join me for those previews. But we have day 3 of the Glorious Goodwood meeting. We have some good racing today, so let's get to the action. Races 2, 3, and 4, the 2:25, the 3 o'clock, and the 3:35. The 2:25, the second race from Goodwood now, it is the Group 2 Richmond Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses, going for a $225,000 purse. Race for 2-year-olds here. We have 9 horses going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. Going to take the 9-horse Tropical Storm. I'm going to go 937 in the TriCast trifecta. 937 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 9-horse Tropical Storm. This 2-year-old colt here, Andrew Balding trains. Ocean Murphy gets the mount. This horse is still a maiden here, but he's been really running these good races. Most recently, Royal Ascot on the 20th of June. 5 furlongs fast ground in the Group 2 Norfolk Stakes, and he finished second by a length that day, and he stalked all the way around the race course. Shareholder just gamed it to the wire, but this horse, he ran his heart out. I think getting the extra furlong today where he could a little bit settle in the mid-race from a tracking trip, I think he could get a trip to win. He's definitely run races in defeat that have been fast enough to beat the winners in this race. 2 back, he ran in Class 2 novice race at Newmarket, 5 furlongs 5th of May, and again, he finished second by a neck. He stalked, he had the lead, and then he just kind of got lost on the lead. He just couldn't keep the momentum going. He got caught at the wire by the actor who just gamed this horse late. But he ran his heart out that day. And then a Newberry on the 19th of April, 5 furlongs in a Class 4 main race, finished 5th by 7.5 lengths that day. And he just sat back early. He moved a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular. He desperately needed the race for the experience. But since then, he's really improved a lot, coming off a little bit of a refreshing about 6 weeks. Drawn well. I think he could get a trip to win. I think the 3-horse Billboard Star for Charlie Bishop and Eva Houghton could win also. Most recently in the July Stakes at Newmarket over the 6th in the July course, he finished second by 1 3/4 lengths, and he stalked well. He had a decent trip up the hill. You know, the Whistle Jacket just had that little bit extra better trip than him, but, you know, not a bad race on the front end on a very tough course. This course is not nearly as tough, and I think being forwardly paced here today from where he's drawn shouldn't be a bad thing, and I think he could find a trip to win. He ran terrifically 2 back at Newmarket on the July course, going 6 in a Class 4 novice race, winning by 2 3/4 lengths. He's basically won on the front end, got up the hill well, nothing bad about that race. And then at Goodwood here, back on debut, going 6th in June in a Class 4 novice race. He finished 3rd by 3 lengths that day, and again, he just kind of stalked, got down the race course okay, but, you know, he needed the race for the experience. Refreshing here. I think he could win also. Second race of the place pot, I'll use him there. But to recap my selection for the 2:25, the second race from Goodwood, it's the Group 2 Richmond Stakes. Going to take the 9-horse Tropical Storm. Give kudos to the 3-horse Billboard Star. 937 TriCast trifecta. 9-3 in the multi-race. The third race now, the 3 o'clock from Goodwood, it is the Group 3 Gordon Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $254,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. 5 horses are contesting 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. Would you call this race a St. Ledger prep race? I think I would, because it seems like some of these horses could really do wonders next month at Doncaster. But with that being said, I think the 4-horse Maydan, who I would bet in the St. Ledger right now, would be my top selection, or is my top selection. Gonna go 4-3-1 in the TriCast trifecta. 4-3-1 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 4-horse Maydan. This 3-year-old colt by Frankel. Simon and Ed Christopher trains. Tom Marquand gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came 19th of June at Ascot. Fast ground, a mile 3/4 in the Group 2 Queen's Vase, and she finished 4th by 6 1/4 lengths that day, and just kind of stalked all the way around the race course. The 3 in front of him had the jump on him, but he got down the race course well. I thought he won actually a little bit more ground. I think this horse could be a good stayer at 2 miles here, but coming back here to a mile and a half, smaller group of horses will be more into it. I think he could get a trip to win. If he runs a race like he did here in in May, he could win. That came on the 25th of May, a mile 3/8 in the group, in the listed Coke Tax Stakes, and he won by a neck, and he basically stalked all the way around the race course. He had to use a lot to get to the front end, but he gamed it out to the wire. I thought that was a very good performance that day, finally with a little bit of a longer trip. He ran prior to that behind Ambient Friendly, who had a decent place after that in the Derby, at Linkfield, a mile and a half in the Linkfield Derby trial. He finished third by 7 3/4 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked all the way around the race course. He just couldn't catch the good turn of foot late behind Illinois and Ambient Friendly, who was in Illinois' next start winner along with this one, but he ran his heart out that day over that run. And then back in Newmarket, a mile and a quarter in Class 2 novice race, he finished 5th by 3.5 lengths, and off the bench that day, he just kind of stalked, but never quickened up. He just needed the race for the, needed the race off the bench. But since that race, he's really improved a lot, coming here, drawn well, smaller group of horses. I think he could win. I think the 3-horse Bellium Justum for Ocean Murphy and Andrew Balding can win also. Most recently in the group 3 Hampton Court over the mile and a quarter at Ascot, he finished third by 2 1/4 lengths that day, and he was with them early on, setting the pace. He just kind of yielded late, but he didn't go down without a fight. He just, he fought back a little bit. Then he just finally, crumbled late, but he ran his heart out that day. Prior to that, in the Derby at Epsom over the mile and a half, he finished 7th by 13 lengths that day. He didn't break so well. He never got to the front end, and I just thought they were saying their height's a little bit too high for him that day. And then prior to that, at Epsom, a mile and a quarter in the Blue Riband trial, won by 3/4 length from a tracking trip. He won quite nicely. Coming to a mile and a half today, he has some early pace. He'll probably get the lead here. Let's see how far that pace goes. First leg of the quad pot, well, you definitely use him there. But to recount my selection for the 3 o'clock third race now from Goodwood, it's the Group 3 Gordon Stakes. Gonna take the 4-horse Maidan, give kudos to the 3-horse Bellium Justum, 4-3-1 Tricast Trifecta, 4-3 in the quad pot. Let's get to the featured 4th race now, the 335, which is the Group 1 Nassau Stakes. It's a Group 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for an $844,500 purse. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards, fillies, mares only. We have a field of 10 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. Gonna take the 7-horse Almelka as a top selection. I'm gonna go 7-2-6 in the Tricast Trifecta. 7-2-6 Tricast Trifecta. Top selection 7-horse Almelka. The Strial filly by Kingman here. Roger Varian trains James Doyle gets mount. Lost my train of thought there for a second. But the horse's most recent appearance came in the Group 1 Coronation Stakes at Ascot, a mile on the 21st of June, and the horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. Didn't break so well, which probably cost this horse a better place that day. I don't think she was going to catch Porta Fortuna, who was the next start winner after that. But this horse just didn't break so well, just kind of stalked all the way around the race course. Moved a little bit late, but needs to break on top. She gets a very good poster here today. If she breaks finally once in her life, she could win. She's run 4 times. She missed a break all 4 times, which is not very good. But she missed a break 2 back in the Guineas, but she ran terrifically that day in the 1,000 Guineas at Newmarket over the mile, 5th of May. She won by a neck that day. Horrible beginning. Sat back out of it early on, but she really had the turn of foot to win that day. When she quickened up, she got the job done. Sylvester DeSouza, great ride by him that day to get the job done with this horse there. And then prior to that, in the Group 3 Dubai Duty Free at Newbury over the 7 on soft ground, he finished 3rd by a half a length that day. Again, didn't break so well out of the gate, but really gained a lot of ground on the final 2 furlongs. If the race was a mile, she probably would have won by open lengths. I think she's the kind of horse, she wants a longer trip. I think a mile and a quarter is what she's been crying out for. She's going to get it today. Hopefully, if she breaks, I think that would be a good thing for her. But even if she doesn't break, I think she'll see a strong pace to close up into. At 12-1, I'm going to take my chances with her. I think that the old lady, the 2-horse Emily Upjohn for Jonathan Thady Gosden and Kieran Schumacher finally get a trip to win. It seems like, this horse hasn't won since last year's Coronation Cup at Ascot, at Epsom, where she won going away by 1 3/4 lengths, circling the field that day. Wasn't the world's toughest Coronation Stakes, but it was still a very good run. After that, she ran in the in the Eclipse at Sandown over the mile and a quarter, where she had a massive second place finish by a half a length that day. Again, not the best beginnings, but she really closed up well late behind Paddington, who was next star winner. And then in the King George at Sandown, she finished 7th by 27 lengths. Never was really comfortable that day. I do think coming back to a mile and a quarter and a little lesser quality horses from her previous races is something she's going to do well with. If you look at some of the races she's been facing this year, she ran the Shihima Classic, a very tough race. Ran the Coronation Cup this year, that came up a little bit tough, where she just wasn't keeping up with those horses. And then back against in Ireland in the Pretty Polly Stakes, she had a decent place that day, closing up from mid-pack, getting blinkers on again today. I think she could concentrate to the run, and I think she could get a trip to win. Drawn well at 8-5. Let's use her in the quad pod. But to recount my selections now for the 4th, the 335 from Goodwood. It's the Group 1 Nassau Stakes. We're going to take our chances with the 7-horse El Melka. Give kudos to the 2-horse Emily Upjohn. 726 Tri-Cash Trifecta. 7-2 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.